My, it felt good to be back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to After Action Report, your numbers recap show for all SmackDown matches to keep you caught up on all the action. I'm your host, Megs, here for the Call to Action podcast channel. Today, we're going to be looking at 5 matches that happened this week, including that live event that took place in Brooklyn over the weekend. So if you do not want spoiled for that, consider this your spoiler warning. Before we get into all the matches from this past week, just a reminder, if you guys could please, if you're enjoying what we're doing here, hit the like button on this video, as well as if you are not already subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you are and that you have that notification bell hit so that you're made aware every time I drop a new video on this channel or any of us here at Call to Action. So looking into the matches that we saw this week, we had the Star Wars tournament continue with a round 1 matchup between Gold Leader and Joseph Scrimshaw. The teams tournament continues to chug along with Deception facing off against Chaos Theory. And the singles tournament is now hot into round 2 with Adam Collins facing off against Brendan Meyer. And in the live event, we had another round 2 tournament in the singles division with Josh Horowitz facing off against Griffin Nooms, and a singles title match with Marisol McKee in her first defense against Chance Ellison. As you may notice from the title as well as what I talked about here on this graphic, 4 out of the 5 matches included at least one member of the KOrruption faction, so it was a KOrruption Invitational week. Without further ado, let's jump right into all these matches. We start the week off in that galaxy far, far away with the Star Wars tournament of Gold Leader facing off against Joseph the Jedi Scrimshaw. Coming out of round 1, Gold Leader is up by 2, 9-7. Gold Leader defers to have Scrimshaw spin first, who spins away from Mixed Bag and ends up taking the Empire Strikes Back. He comes away with 8 out of 10 points, checking down to multiple choice twice, but not giving away any steal opportunities. Gold Leader takes Revenge of the Sith on his first spin, and he sweeps this round for the full 10 out of 10 points. This does give Gold Leader a gain of 2 points to now be up by 4, 19-15. In the third round, Scrimshaw hits his 2-pointer in The Force Awakens and a 3-pointer in the Attack of the Clones to bounce it back to Gold Leader to hit his 2-pointer in the Jedi Order, as well as a 3-pointer in Creatures and Alien Races. That bounces it back over to Scrimshaw with a 5-pointer in Heroes, which he is able to hit. Back over to Gold Leader, who hits his 5 in Revenge of the Sith, which does give Gold Leader the win with a final score of 29-25, where Gold Leader answered 17 of 18 questions for 94% accuracy and scored 94% of 31 available points. Joseph Scrimshaw answered 15 of 18 questions for 83% accuracy and scored 81% of 31 available points. Only in the Star Wars division can you have a competitor that has an average of 80% accuracy in his matches and still be only 1-5. I'm, of course, talking about Joseph Scrimshaw, a staple in this division. He has been around for several years. Hopefully, he continues to show up. He is always a lot of fun to watch. However, Gold Leader is the one who advances in this round and is primed to run through this other tournament, which he also did earlier in this year with the first Star Wars tournament. Time will tell if he will get to face off against the person who knocked him out of the tournament earlier this year, our current reigning champion, Thomas Harper. We are going to move right on over into the teams tournament where we saw Deception facing off against the Stars team of Chaos Theory. Coming out of round 1, they are tied at 11, with Marisol and Nick both getting 6 points, and Collins and Jacoby also only getting 5 points. As the favored team, Deception elects to spin first. They spin away from Disney and end up taking YA adaptations. They're able to come away with 11 out of 12 available points, checking down to multiple choice once, but don't give away any steals. Chaos Theory spins opponent's choice and are given 1970s, where they also come away with 11 out of 12 points, checking down on multiple choice once, but not giving away any steal opportunities. So at the end of 2 rounds, we are still tied 22 apiece. And coming into the third round, we see a very similar situation. It is a ping pong match back and forth. Jacoby hits a 2-pointer for Chaos Theory in the 1990s, bounces it over to Deception, where Collins takes a 2-pointer in Pixar, which he's able to hit. This bounces it back over to Nick on Chaos Theory to hit a 3-pointer in Biopics, which he does. And Marisol hits her 3-pointer in Horror for Deception. Back over to Chaos Theory for their 5-pointer in Comedies. They hit that. Back over to Deception, and they have their 5-pointer in Action Adventure. With both teams hitting 10 points, once again, we are tied 32 apiece going into Sudden Death. In the first question of Sudden Death, we see that Marisol, Nick, and Adam all hit the point, but unfortunately, Jacoby is unable to answer that question correctly, which does give Deception the win with a final score of 34-33, where Deception answered 22 of 27 questions for 82% accuracy, scored 81% of 42 available points. Chaos Theory answered 21 of 27 questions for 78% accuracy and scored 79% of 42 available points. So we see both of these teams staying neck and neck the entire time, but neither of them having a spectacular round one, which maintained them being close neck and neck, as I said, the entire match, forcing sudden death. We do see Deception progressing on in this tournament, continuing the theme of a Corruption Invitational. Let's see what other matches we have in store. We move into our first of 3 singles matches and the first of 2 round 2 tournament matches with Adam the Coyote Collins facing off against Brendan the Kid Meyer. Coming out of round 1, we see that Brendan is up by 1, 9-8, both of them scoring perfect rounds, but only Brendan is able to hit the bonus question. Brendan elects to have Collins spin first, who decides to take Bruce Willis on his first spin. He comes away with 7 out of 8 points, checking down a multiple choice once, but not giving away any steals. And Brendan Meyer decides to take David Lynch on his first spin and sweeps the round for the full 8 out of 8 points. This does give Brendan an additional gain of 1 point to now be up by 2, 17-15 going into the third round. Adam hits a 2-pointer in Disney to bounce it over to Brendan, who hits his 2-pointer in the 1980s. Back over to Adam, who hits a 3-pointer in Coming of Age. And Meyer hits his 3-pointer in Steven Spielberg. Adam Collins is left to hit a 5-pointer in Julia Roberts. Unfortunately, he is unable to do so, which does give Brendan Meyer the win with a final score of 22-20. Where Adam Collins answered 14 of 16 questions for 88% accuracy and scored 74% of 27 available points. Brendan Meyer answered 15 of 15 questions for 100% accuracy and scored 100% of 22 available points. While this is not the first time that Brendan Meyer has gotten a 100% accuracy game, this is the first time he has got a 100% accuracy and 100% potential points earned. The last time we saw him get 100% accuracy was in the tournament last season. So we do see him advance in this tournament to face his round 3 opponent. We shall find out who that is soon enough. We are now moving into the New York live event with the undercard of the match being the Carpathian Josh Horowitz and Downtown Griffey Nunes, both rookie sensations finally getting to face off against each other. Coming out of round 1, Griffey Nunes is up by 1, 6-5. So you'll notice here that Josh does miss his first 3 questions in round 1. Ideally, that is not something that you want to see, but he does recover nicely by hitting the remaining 5 questions to keep within 1 of Griffey moving into the second round. Griffey defers to have Josh spin first, who unfortunately spins opponent's choice and is given Pixar, where he comes away with 1 out of 8 available points. He checks down a multiple choice twice, misses one of those questions and 2 2-point questions that are all stolen for a total of 5 points worth of steals. This goes over to Nunes' spin and decides to take Directors on the first spin, where he sweeps the round for the full 8 out of 8. This does give Griffey Nunes a gain of 12 points to be up by 13, which does mathematically give him the win via KO with a final score of 19-6. where Josh Horowitz answered 6 of 12 questions for 50% accuracy and scored 35% of 17 available points. Griffey Nooms answered 11 of 15 questions for 87% accuracy and scored 86% of 22 available points. So we see with round 1, these rookies are getting the full exposure of tournament level play and the live event experience. They keep within 1 of each other, but unfortunately there is just a snowball effect for Horowitz that he is not able to recover from there in that round 2 to not force them into a round 3 situation. So will you see Griffey Nooms progressing into the next round? He will face off against Paige Betty. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Josh recovers here. He does have a teams tournament match coming up down the line, so we hope to see him rebound from this and take some strides forward. As we hope to see him back next year, he has been amazing to watch. We will also see if Griffey Nooms gets to take this momentum into his next match, as well as continuing into the teams tournament where he and the team of King Arthur are still plugging away. And we move into the final match of the week and the night with Lady Justice Marisol McKee defending her singles title against the Cobra Chance Ellison. Coming out of round 1, they both missed the same question, the famous actors and actresses category, and are tied at 7. Moving into round 2, Marisol elects to spin first and takes Meryl Streep to the great excitement of the crowd on her first spin. She comes away with 7 out of 8 points, checking out a multiple choice once, but not giving away any steals. Chance spins away from Paul Newman and ends up taking Spoof Movies, where he is only able to come away with 3 out of 8 points, having to check down a multiple choice 3 times, misses 2 of those questions, and both of them are stolen by Marisol for a total of 2 points worth of steals. This gives Marisol a gain of 6 points to be up by 6, 16-10 going into the 3rd round or the betting round. We see Marisol spins the 1970s, and both she and Chance answer the question correctly. Chance betting 3 points and Marisol betting 2 points. This does give Chance a gain of 1 point, but Marisol is still up by 5, 18-13 going into the speed round. We see that Chance answers the first question correct, Marisol answers the second and third questions correct, but she misses the 4th question, and Chance cleans up the round by picking up the 5th question. This gives Chance a gain of 2 points and Marisol a gain of 1 point in this round. Chance does gain 1 additional point, but Marisol is still up by 4, 19-15, going into the final round. So just something of note in this round in general, the questions themselves were very much in a list format where you had to listen to almost the very last point of the question before wagering a guess, or you could get caught in a trap. And it seemed that that was part of what Marisol did. She buzzed in, couldn't quite get the answer out quick enough, and that did result in the -1 to her score. But very interesting to see how these speed rounds have evolved from having the 10-question Moneyball system to now going back to the 5-question system with the buzzers. Just something of interest to keep your eye on. We see that Chance has to answer a 2-pointer in Westerns and a 3-pointer in Animated to bounce it back over to Marisol and avoid the TKO. She is able to hit a 2-pointer in Action Adventure, which does bounce it back over to Chance for his 5-pointer in Black Cinema. Unfortunately, he is unable to do so, which does give Marisol the win and defense with a final score of 21-20. Where Chance Ellison answered 14 of 18 questions for 78% accuracy and scored 57% of 35 available points. Marisol McKee answered 17 of 19 questions for 90% accuracy and scored 72% of 29 available points. So we see that Chance was able to, with each subsequent round in the betting and speed round question, chip away at that lead that Marisol had gotten there in that second round, but it wasn't enough, and with him missing the 5-point question, to push Marisol to have to hit anything over her 2-point question, with her only misses in this game being the 1 point in the round 1 and the speed round question. So we see that she does get that first title defense under her belt. We shall see who comes out of this singles tournament to challenge her at Spectacular at the end of the year. That's going to do it for this week, but don't worry, I'm going to be right back here next Monday breaking down all the action that happens in the Schmodown. Before you guys leave, please do me a huge favor if you're enjoying what's going on, and if you have other questions or comments about the matches that happened this week, please make sure that you hit the like button on this video, as well as leave comments both here or at the social media accounts that I have listed down below. I love talking to you guys about this stuff. And if you want to take a look at the graphics that I present here in more detail, they will be getting posted on Twitter and Facebook later on, so keep your eye out on those accounts. Be sure to also check out all the other content that we have here on this YouTube channel, as well as over on Twitch, where we go live on Wednesdays. Until next time, for the whole Call to Action podcast crew, I'm Megs, and this is After Action Report, signing off.